What's up, guys? Welcome to the Peer Review Podcast. My name is Caleb Davis, and I have notes. So, I'm in a new background today. I just made the move back home for winter break, so I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do, like with the setup and everything. I'm in like a little corner of my room right now. I don't know how I feel about the situation right now, but we're gonna make things work for today. For today, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the recent trade between the Warriors and the Nets. The Warriors closed in on a deal to land Dennis Schroder amidst the trade deadline starting to the opening of trade season and the opening of the majority of the league to be able to be traded at that December 15th date. So today, the trade didn't officially go through until today. So that's kind of why I waited to talk about it a little bit. I wanted to make sure all the details are squared out. But I just want to say this trade was pretty unexpected. This wasn't really the route that I thought the Warriors would take, and like they still have time to make more moves. But this seems like this is going to be their one big move for the deadline, unless they just go crazy and because they still have their first, they still have a lot of their tradable contracts. But yeah, the trade details: the Warriors are trading DeAnthony Melton and 3 second-round picks to the Nets for guard Dennis Schroder and 1 second-round pick. And I just want to start by saying props to Golden State because it's always hard being that first team to make a trade at the around the trade deadline, because it kind of sets the market for the rest of the league once trades start opening up. And Schroeder going for this small of a return, it's kind of pretty underwhelming to me, to say the least. I kind of thought that the Nets could have acquired a first round pick for him. I thought he was having a great season. He's looked like a great starting point guard for the Brooklyn Nets. He was helping them win games. He had them in playoff contention as things currently stand. So we'll play in contention. So pretty surprising. And I'm not sure how to feel about other teams in the league not, if he was going for this low value, not going after him. But props to the Warriors for getting it done. And I definitely think he is going to help their team. Now, for his averages, Schroeder this season is averaging 18.4 points per game, 3 rebounds per game, a career high 6.6 assists per game, and he's also shooting 38.7% from 3 on a career high 6.5 attempts. So he's really up to his 3-point volume and his assist volume, which will fit. I think he'll fit really well in the Warriors system. Now, how does Schroeder actually improve the Warriors? I don't think this move is a bolts them into title contention or anything like top tier title contention or anything like that. But I just think he's going to help them win games during the regular season, and he just improves their ceiling a bit. So for starters, Schroeder he's just another great ball handler. He's a great guard at using his burst and just his quick like stop and go, and he's very twitchy, and it works out for him. He's just able to use his speed and craftiness along with his ball handling to kind of make things work. And the other way that I feel like he's going to help Golden State as a ball handler is also his rim pressure. Golden State doesn't have a whole lot of guys who, well, I take that back because they got guys like Kuminga, Wiggins, Paz, not really, but they don't have a whole lot of guys that really drive to the rim and kick out and just get the defensive rotation. And Schroeder is a great guard for that type of action, similar to, well, not similar. They don't have the same play style, but same way like Russell Westbrook can get downhill and get guys to collapse and kick it out to shooters. Schroeder can do the exact same thing. And in the Warriors' motion offense, I think this is going to fit really, really well. But one of the other big ways that I think he'll help is on guard-to-guard screens. And I'm going to touch on that a little bit more when I kind of talk about the Warriors' late game shot creation. But for another point, he just adds a secondary scorer to the team. He automatically becomes their second highest scorer because he's at 18.4 points. Andrew Wiggins is their second leading. He's somewhere around 17 points per game. So it just offers more scoring. And it kind of feels similar to how the Warriors kind of had Jordan Poole off the bench. Like, he wasn't the playmaker or defender that Schroeder is, but he was another guard that was shifty, he could get downhill, could create his own shot, he could run the offense for a little bit. So it kind of feels like it's taking that mold a little bit, and that's the route they're going. But as for the late game shot creation, the Warriors, we talked about this in a past video, but they've been one of the worst clutch offenses in the league this season. And it just comes down to they don't have a lot of great shooters that can be out there when at the end of the games, that can also defend. Like, you want to have guys like Buddy Hield out there, but he's not a great defender. And I think Schroder kind of comes in and provides a balance, especially on the front of, like, I can see the Warriors running kind of, because I talked about his downhill pressure, like guard to guard screens where Curry comes up and sets the ball screen. And I imagine Schroder is a guy like running the pick and roll with Curry or pick and pop, whatever they're going to do. And, Curry pops out. And obviously, the majority of the defensive attention is going to be focused at Curry. So Curry's popping out, getting an open shot. But Schroder has that downhill ability, and they're going to be more focusing on Curry. So I think that's going to open things up a lot. He'll be able to get downhill, kick out to shooters, and it just offers them another action, and he's just another solid creator that they can rely on dependably. And then on the defensive end, Schroeder's actually a pretty solid defender. This season, he hasn't been as good as in the past, but it's also he's had a lot of offensive responsibility. And I think on a team like the Warriors, where his role is reduced a little bit, he can kind of focus more of his energy on that side of the ball. He's a solid point of attack defender. He's great at like ball pressure. Like, he can pick, because he's fast, he's quick. He can pick guys up full court and kind of pressure the ball, take time off the shot clock, which is very valuable. And then he's also good at navigating screens. He's good at like getting skinny and like turning his body and avoiding screens. And I got to see him a lot when he was on the Lakers during both of his stints, but he was usually our best perimeter defender. So he's going to be able to offer a bit on that front. He's kind of small. He's about 6'1", smaller guard, similar to Curry. So playing the two of them is going to be hard in some matchups. Like, let's say you're going up against a team like with bigger guards. I don't know, like the Mavs. Like, you don't really want Schroeder getting switched out on Luka, because that's going to be something outside of already attacking Curry. They're going to attack Schroeder. Matchups like that, other big guard, like maybe like Devin Booker. I'm kind of blanking off the top of my head, but matchups like that where the two guards are a little above the average, like 6'2", 6'3" height, stuff you have to worry about. But I mean, they have capable defenders. They have enough going forward. I don't think, like I said, I don't think this bolts them into like top tier title contention or anything like that. I would say, if let's say the Warriors ceiling, what would you guys call it? Maybe a second round exit. I think it just bolsters them a little bit more, and it increases the likelihood of them possibly making it to the Western Conference Finals. As things currently stand, though, for the Warriors, like, they've been on this slump. They've been dropping in the standings. And like I said, second round exit is like ceiling. So I'm being pretty generous with that. But I'm excited to see how he looks for them. I love when trade season starts to kick off. I love player movement. I like when guys are moving around. It gives us stuff to talk about. So excited for the Warriors moving forward. And then on the Nets side of things, real quick, I mean, both guys, Melton and Schroeder, were on shorter term deals. I think they were both on 1-year deals, so expiring contracts. So, and Schroeder was just doing a lot for the Nets as in terms of helping them win games, which is not really what the Nets were pushing for this season. I'd come to guess, if you like ask their ownership, they'd probably be trying to tank to get a good pick in this year's draft. And essentially, they just traded 1 second for 3 seconds on their front. So they didn't really come out at a loss whatsoever. And they're trying to tank, like I just mentioned. They're trying to get near the lottery, like somewhere in the top portion of the lottery, hopefully a first, like the number 1 pick. So I get them moving off Schroeder, and I expect them to make more moves moving forward because they have a lot of expendable pieces. Like Dorian Finney-Smith, he's been rumored for like the past 10 years to get moved off the Nets. Like Ben Simmons expiring contract, like I saw that in the news. And I don't know, they just have a couple guys that could likely be moved at this deadline. So looking forward to more activity and more moves from the Nets, because they're one of those teams right now that should be going all in as a fire sale. But that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for tuning into the Peer Review Podcast. Please make sure to share the podcast with your friends and family, as well as follow us on X at peerreview_pod and on TikTok at Peer Review Podcast to stay up to date with our latest episodes and releases. That is all I have for today, and this is the Peer Review Podcast, signing off.